There's a new law that's taking effect this week in Tennessee. Poor people on welfare are required to submit to a drug test. Now, the law in Tennessee is actually not as harsh as one that was struck down in Florida recently. I think there are 9 states that enacted one version or another of this kind of law. In Florida, they just immediately made everybody who uses welfare pee in a cup. Just right up front, they would tell them, oh, you need to feed your kids? Here, piss in this cup. So in Tennessee, they make you fill out a questionnaire. If you fail the questionnaire, then they test you, and then they give you 6 months, I guess, to possibly maybe get clean, and then they test you again, and then you would get kicked off if you had drugs in your system that time. So I love how that's Tennessee's version of being liberal. It's like, yeah, no, we're going to still drug test welfare recipients, but we'll give you a little bit of time, and here's a questionnaire or some shit, whatever, but we're still going to try to take money away from you. That's their idea of being liberal. So Mississippi was also supposed to start drug screening welfare applicants this week, but civil liberties advocates persuaded them to delay the implementation. I don't know how the fuck they did that. That sounds like nothing short of a miracle to me, because Mississippi is one of the most conservative states in the nation. Now, there's a few facts I should throw out there when we talk about this, and there were a few different studies on this recently. Utah implemented a similar plan, and they caught a grand total of 12 people. I'm not kidding. That's an actual number. They spent thousands of dollars, and they caught 12 people. So think about it. If the whole idea is, well, we need to save money, the government should save money by not allowing people who are high to get welfare, actually the opposite happened. Because you did so much testing and only 12 people, ended up actually being on drugs, you net lost money, okay? It didn't save you money, you lost money. Not only that, there were at least 2 studies done, and both of them found that welfare recipients actually use drugs at a lower rate than the general population. So there's one in Florida specifically. They found that only 2% of welfare recipients failed drug tests, and a 2008 study by the Office of National Drug Control Policy found that approximately 8% of Floridians aged 12 and up had used illegal drugs in the last month, and 9.69% had smoked marijuana in the last 2 years. So again, welfare recipients actually, it's a fact that they're using drugs at a lower rate than people who aren't on welfare. But even putting all that aside, look, here's the main point, man. Now, I know that at face value, this is one of those stories where at face value, there's actually, I'm sure, a lot of reasonable people out there who go, yeah, you know what, fuck it. If they're taking welfare money, yeah, drug test them, okay? So I get the knee-jerk visceral reaction where people think, oh, I gotta protect my money. I don't want to go into no bum, no lazy asshole sitting on a couch being a parasite. But here's the main point. If you want to drug test people for taking government money, fine. But be consistent about it. So, in other words, you can't just single out the poor. The only reason you are singling out the poor is that they are an easy target. And the poor actually take less money than other people in the country. So, for example, if you want to test people taking government money, how about you drug test all politicians? Their paycheck is from the taxpayers. Every single dime of it. So if you're testing people taking government money, why not start with them? Or do you want to be a hypocrite and only single out the poor? But not just them. How about you, drug test defense contractors? You do know that the military spending is 57% of discretionary spending. Okay? I mean, our military budget is absurd. We maintain 900 military bases all around the world. When all is said and done with the war in Iraq, when you factor in all the interest and whatnot, it's actually going to cost about $7 trillion. Okay, so you want to talk about, drug testing people? Fuck, start with Dick Cheney. He worked for Halliburton. He was the vice president. Drug test him. Maybe he's on some Percocet because, he had those 942 heart transplants. Maybe he's taking a little too many of those. Maybe you should take away all the money he made when he was vice president as a result of that, huh? Why not do that? Why not, I don't know, look into drug testing people on Wall Street. You do know that Wall Street, definitely in the 1980s, but probably a lot today too, it was the absolute mecca of cocaine use. There are stories people would walk into just your normal meeting and, the CEO would be having a conversation and they just fucking pour out a whole mountain of cocaine on the desk and make some lines and just snort it right up there. Fucking be euphoric as they're pushing numbers around on a computer screen and tanking the economy. Okay? So there's a lot of drug use on Wall Street. And by the way, again, they took way more money than somebody who's taken a couple bucks to feed their kids and not get kicked out of their place, and continue to pay the rent. I mean, with Wall Street, we did a fucking bailout of the entire place. We gave them a blank check from the Treasury. I mean, for fuck's sake, and then what did they do with that money? They turned around and they bought new private jets. Citigroup did that. They remodeled their offices and it cost millions of dollars. They gave fucking bonuses to the people that bankrupted the companies. Wait. Why are they getting a bonus? Why? You get a bonus when you do something good, not when you do the exact opposite of something good. If you crash the company, your ass should be fired. Never mind getting a bonus. But they don't have a conversation about that. Nobody's like, well, maybe we should drug test these, the biggest welfare recipients, which are the people on Wall Street. Why not drug test the assholes at ExxonMobil? They get a $4 billion subsidy every single year. That's money right out of your pocket and my pocket. And they say, oh, it's for research and development that they get that money. Okay, fair enough. Research and development, my ass. You're already one of the most profitable corporations in the world, so that should be enough of an incentive to do your own goddamn research and development. But okay, you want to take the money? No problem. Here, piss in a cup, tough guy. Go ahead. How about the CEO of Walmart? Walmart is the biggest welfare queen in the country. But no, see, we can't drug test them. Why? Because they're mostly white guys wearing suits and ties. No, they have status in society. Why don't you understand that? Well, if we're talking just about poor black people, fuck them. Test them anyway. I mean, seriously, think about it. And this is the problem with conservative thinking in general. They get so angry at people taking food stamps, for example. Do you have any idea how much food stamps is? It's $1.30 a meal. You're going to bitch about $1.30 a meal to feed a kid and a person who's going through a rough patch in their life? That's what you're going to bitch about? But you're not going to bitch about the fucking private jet that Citigroup just bought with our money? They have their priorities exactly backwards, man. And spare me this garbage that, well, the guys that are poor, they don't deserve the money because they're fucking lazy. Really? Then why is it that every time they do a study looking at what percentage of these programs, these social safety net programs, what percentage of it is fraud? You know what number always comes back? 1%. USDA study of the food stamps program. Only 1% of the recipients of food stamps are getting it unjustly. Okay, so they're like scheming the system in one way or another. 1%. You're willing to say fuck you to the 99% of people who are genuinely in a rough patch and they need the help to just put up your middle finger to one asshole who's, taking advantage of the system? I got no problem with, I just don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I got no problem with a couple bad apples doing fucked up shit as long as we're helping out people in the process and we have a society that's not totally barbaric and Neanderthalic where we say, fuck you, die in the streets, starve, we don't give a shit about you. But that's the problem, man. The problem is they're singling out the poor and drug testing them because they can. They can pick on the poor. So what always happens, whenever the economy goes south, the first thing they cut is help to the poor. That's the last thing they should ever cut, but that's the first thing they cut. Why? Because the poor don't have lobbyists. That's the thing. ExxonMobil, Wall Street, Walmart, they all have lobbyists. So they pay the politicians. So the politicians go, I don't give a fuck. You do as much cocaine as you want, smoke weed, do a little LSD on Thursday night, wake up Friday still high, go to work. I don't give a shit. You pay me. You helped me win my last election, so I'm not going to drug test you. But some poor people go to the local trailer park, go to the local ghetto, people who are struggling to get by anyway, and they can't find work because there's fucking 5 people for every 1 job. Yeah, fuck them. Drug test them.